this is your host Dave, and in this video I will be going over New 52 Superman's low end striking feats. So when it comes down to Superman striking feats come in a whole variety. This is not just something that he does for bodily harm or just simply destroying something. There is strategy involved. Now, going off the fight between New 52 Superman and the Flash during the Justice League series, Superman was able to tag the Flash with a finger. Now, Flash is seen to be able to even go through trains, and for Superman to literally just hurt the Flash with a finger, that just means that Superman really could do tremendous damage with just a flick of a finger. He even KO'd people with it. Now, his striking isn't necessarily used for combat purposes, but Superman has used it in other means as well. For example, he created a barrier between indigenous animals to protect them from small arms fire. Even striking the ground to create an opening for infected humans to fall in and keep them contained. Superman used it to prevent an epidemic from occurring. Now, we could definitely see that there is a strategy involved when Superman punches the ground. He punches at a certain angle and a certain strength level to actually create these barriers or holes to whatever purpose is needed for. He can even create a quake strong enough to stop the fight between the Justice League and the Justice League of America. Other reasons would be also for breaching purposes. Like, for example, Superman actually came to an underground society, an underground living society, to save Lana. Now, it is unquantifiable how wide the crust would be, how far Superman actually breached through. But my point is that Superman would utilize these striking or his strength to actually breach through locations so that he could be able to reach or search for an enemy or even escape. Other occasions will be when Superman will fly through the objective, whether it be a military base in a mountain or anything. Superman will just definitely fly through it to destroy it. One of my favorite feats for Superman is when literally he was assisting space pilots or NASA pilots from preventing a meteor shower from reaching to Earth. Now, Superman doesn't need this help, but what I like the fact is that he actually welcomes help. He actually lets other people assist him, and this is something very humbly of him, that he actually just lets it happen. His striking depends on a lot of things. There's a lot of variables involved. Depends on the severity of the fight, how much solar radiation Superman has, if the threat is extremely dangerous, if the threat has something that weakens him, and so on and so forth. In combat, when Superman fights, when Superman initiates a fight, he tries to use enough force to KO someone or to stop it. Now, he doesn't necessarily use enough force to cause bodily harm. For example, he tried to KO a Kryptonian dragon. Now, obviously, this dragon just got up a little bit, a few scans later. But the thing is that he uses enough force to try a KO, not a lethal blow. Other great examples would be when Superman fought Deathstroke. Now, Superman did not finish him off. He didn't kill him because that's not his character. He doesn't go for a kill. There's a time when he even fought Batman when they first met, and Superman was going very lenient on him. He uses enough force for a KO just when at the time when Batman was actually intoxicated, and Superman just land a blow enough to knock him out, including Lex Luthor. And I will go over more about when Superman fights humans, because there's a big, huge misconception that humans could literally defeat him. And I will go more thorough on that in a separate video. When the fight becomes a little bit more severe, this is where Superman now uses more force in a fight. He uses enough to try and KO someone. Now, this is where Omac experienced a hole on the chest because he literally got punched through. Superman literally also KO'd Gorilla Grodd real easy, because now Gorilla Grodd was using some sort of mind control on Superman, and it was just being annoying, and Superman had to finish it quick. There was this one moment where there was a state of emergency where Superman was gone, but there was a clone of himself that was acting like him, and he was actually beating up Supergirl. Now, this is such an emergency where Superman literally had to come over there to take him out of the populated area and fight him somewhere else. This is where Superman let loose and actually destroyed it, because he knew for a fact that this is a clone. It is not sentient. It doesn't really have a soul or anything living. It was just a copycat. With that being said, in a serious combat scenario, when Superman was fighting against Sadu, Superman was hitting him hard enough that his shockwaves were actually lifting the people in his surroundings. Even Superman's fight against Batman, when Batman was amped up and he was controlled by Mongol's technology, their shockwaves were literally destroying buildings in their surroundings. Sometimes Superman's fights are extremely dangerous, even to be around, even to be an observer. Take it when Superman, when he blitzed Wraith, when he actually lets go and lets loose, he was punching Wraith through the moon. He actually managed to go all the way through the moon. And this is not even the first time that Superman has done a feat similar to this. There was also another occasion where when Superman blitzed Doomsday in Bizarro's dimension, and that moon, in a cube looking moon, Superman blitzed Doomsday and literally destroyed the moon in the process. Now, finishing off with this final feat, this is where Superman blitzed a really powerful Kryptonian. Now, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Hell or Hiel or Heel or however it's pronounced. But my point is that Superman, when he blitzed him, Superman's punches literally was felt all around the planet, through the very center of the earth, all the way to the satellites. And even Batman stated that this shockwaves were actually, his back of his teeth were actually feeling it. Now, how hard was Superman punching? Going off by the feat where Superman lifted Earth for 5 days, this is enough energy produced to literally rip apart Earth 200 times over. Now, this is a mathematical equation given to me, so I did not make a calculation. It was one of my good friends on Instagram, and it was said that this is enough energy, strength-wise, to rip apart Earth 200 times over. Now, I understand the concept that strength does not equal striking power, but at the same time, I do not believe that strength is irrelevant, and I'm gonna make a whole video on that as well. But given the energy in strength and speed and form of how Superman punches, especially the boxing stances that he knows, this all adds up to his striking power. So this is really on a multi-planetary attack. This is multi-planet strikes that Superman was giving to Hell, and Hell was absorbing every single punch. Now, just to go over and give a little recap of what I've explained, Superman striking is not just solely on just punching mindlessly, but the fact that Superman uses his punching to his advantages, especially he uses the environment. We know for a fact that Superman has some sort of control in his punching. It is actually an expert level as well. The way how he is able to open up the ground to prevent an epidemic from occurring, or even using the dirt or the ground itself as a barrier. Now, we know that Superman's striking power is easily on the moon level to even multi-planetary. So hopefully you enjoyed this video I made. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let me know. I know I've missed a couple of things, other smaller things, but this is Superman striking and low end. I'll be covering a higher end in some other time in the future. So well, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.